Hello everyone, it is Susan from Suehiles Art. I hope you're all doing well today. So today's my Monday crafty chit chat and slow stitching video. And yeah, I'm super excited to look at this again with all of you. And I guess I want to share some things with all of you. I don't know how much I'm going to be stitching today. And that's only because I'm feeling under the weather. So my head's a little, I don't know. I want to say dizzy. I don't know. But anyways, I do definitely want to do some chatting and maybe we will stitch. I don't know. We'll see. So gosh, there's so much I wanted to talk about. So as far as this goes, I've been looking at this. We put this together last week. And I did go ahead and find a pretty pink button that I thought would look pretty there. And, you know, I realized kind of at the end of the video last week that I wanted to put pink on here and then realized I really didn't have a lot of pink at all because this is going to be folded over. Because this is going to be a wall hanging, so it's really going to look more like this. And so I'll sew this down so that I can put a dowel through it to hang on my wall. So it's going to be more, you know, like this. So knowing that, you know, I want to put things like laces on here, all of that. This isn't going to be everything that goes on here, but I do know that I want to add more pink. And what I will probably end up doing is I will be looking through my happy bins. So these are my happy bins. This is one of them. So this one has the laces. And as you can see, in fact, let me take them out. I have some laces with pink. So I'm going to take those out. Here's another one. And yep, so that's one way I can add more pink is by adding some lace. So we'll see. We'll see. But that will be a good reminder to have that out. And I also have this happy bin, which is fabrics. And yeah, so I mean, like I have pink pieces in here. So I can definitely look through here and maybe pull out some pink fabric because all I would need to put some pink on here at this point is just little pieces, so I don't need anything big. So like these two pieces right here could work really, really well. Now the fabrics that I have over here, these are more for what I would call my pages or my blocks. So if suppose I wanted to do another wall hanging or a page for a journal, like these fabrics here, I could definitely just pull out and use to sew onto. So that's what all this stuff is right here. So every time I cut something to make pages, what's left over goes in here, and I try to grab from here as much as I can. And then I have also sitting next to me is this, well, and this you would remember from last week, I threw it in here. This is my smaller fabric scraps, but you can see here again, I have plenty of pink in here. So I could even pull just like a little strip of something like this. And that's the kind of stuff that I have in here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll pull out, I think, a couple of these as well. I don't need a lot. If I, you know, when I decide where I'm going to put the pink, I'm only going to need just a little bit. So, you know, now at this point, with having all of this out, You know, that's more than enough pink. So I'm just going to kind of set that there, knowing that I will be adding more to this. So even like something like pretty like this might be pretty to put that up top. I could put even, whoops, just a little piece right there, right, to pull in some pink right here, right? It's endless what you can do. So that's kind of my thought process. And I did find this, but it's just too big. It's too bold. I don't need anything this big and pink at this point. But I do have it here in case I decide to go with something like that. And then I was thinking, well, remember I told you last week that, well, I haven't been using the yarns that I bought like, I don't know, 10 months ago. And because I kind of stopped using them because I got so fond of using the pearl size 8 threads, and I do love them. I love them. I love them. And but then I was thinking, oh, look at, here's some more pink. I don't even know what that's from. Oh my gosh, we're going to go through this little tray that I have right here. But I'm going to pull this out. It's pretty little pink. But anyway, so what I decided, well, I decided a couple things. So I decided I do want to use my, look at this, I have like so much stuff over in this little thing. My pretty yarns, most of them are variegated yarns. And so like these, I just love. I think, I mean, not that they would go on this particular wall hanging, but I do have pinks. I have blues, right? I have pink, pink, bluish orange, pink. I think this is my favorite yarn right here is this one. And so I'm thinking I'm going to keep this little circular ring on my desk, or, you know, on with this particular project. So I remember to use these because I have a lot of these. You know, when you get a skein of yarn, it's a lot of yarn. So yeah, so I'm going to remember to keep that out. And before we go through this little tray, I found the first videos from Sarah and Rachel back in December of last year, where they shared the 20 different stitches, types of stitches. And I actually made a playlist for those videos, and so I have a little playlist of them for myself. If you guys want the playlist, I can always I would have to make it public, and then I can post it in my description box. But so these were the first 5 stitches. This was from Sarah's video, and so I did a screenshot. So the running stitch, which I call the straight stitch, and I don't know why I call it the straight stitch. Is the straight stitch different than a running stitch? I don't know. I don't know where I got that terminology from, the straight stitch, but to me it's the same thing. The whipped running stitch, the back stitch, stem stitch, and split stitch. Now all of these I know how to do. I mean, some stitches, like I've said, baffle me still and I struggle with, but these I remember how to do. The thing is, I forget to remember to do them. How is that? I forget to remember to do them. And that's honestly the truth. Like, I forget. Oh yeah, there's the back stitch. Why don't I do that? You know, I just don't remember to do them. So I think like that's part of my problem is I'm not doing them, so I'm not remembering about them. So when we do start stitching on this wall hanging, you know, I want to do some of each of these stitches because I want them, you know, it's like a muscle memory, right? And that can like even be in your head, like that repetition, right? That's what will bring it to my mind when I'm stitching, is by doing it. Now, I can't do 20 stitches all the time, but I can focus on some of them, and then I can move on to the next 5, which is how they did it. They did it in 5s. So then I'll get the next 5 and work on those. And it's such a great, like I can think back and like the oh, what the heck, the turkey stitch. I love doing the turkey stitch, and I just never think to do it. So there's the turkey stitch, there's the pistol stitch. I mean, I loved doing these, you know, 10 months ago, but I forget about them. So I want to start doing them again. So anyway, so that's my thought. So like I said, when we get to actually stitching this, then yeah, we're going to do some of those, and I can explain them to you. I mean, I'm not a pro, but I can definitely share those stitches with you and tell you how I know to do them, and you'll see me doing them. And if you want to pick up some of those stitches and start doing them, I mean, again, I learned them all from Roxy Creations, who is Rachel, and her sister Sarah. So I give them full credit. It is not me, for sure. And as I'm sitting at my desk here, I'm looking at my back window. At the end of my yard, there's a big patch of woods, and there's like a whole bunch of deer out there. Oh my gosh, they look beautiful. But anyways, okay. So this little tray, where did I get this tray? I think my mother gave me this tray. It's a long tray. It's probably 18 inches long by, I don't know, 5 inches wide. And I just kept throwing things in here. And then I really got into the pearl thread. So this has just been kind of sitting untouched for a while now. So I don't even know what's in here. So like this little piece of lace, I'm going to take out and put that in my little scrap bin. I do have this. So this pin cushion is my favorite. This is the one that sits on my desk. This is the one that I use. So these two are obviously different in size, and I like this for sitting right here on my desk because it is smaller. And this one happens to be one you can put on your wrist. I've never actually done that. I've always just had it sit where I'm working. But you can see it's full of needles and pins. But yeah, I'm not really using it at all, but it's there, you know, if I need it. In here, this was something I got when I just started sewing a year ago. And it's magnetic and it holds needles. And I don't even remember, like, so, okay, as I'm looking at these now, these needles have, oh, this one doesn't, has very small eyes to put the thread through. This one is a nice size, has a nice eye, but it's dull, it's not pointy. So these are really needles that I don't even use, and here they are. What is this? So this I got out of a, was it a cross stitch kit? And I thought I would use these, and I don't know if, I mean, this feels the same. So does this. So does the purple. But I don't know that they're actually from this. But it's the same. It's embroidery thread is what it is. And it's all super pretty, but I don't use this either. but I should, right? So maybe that's a goal, as well as using that yarn that I showed you. So this, remember last week I shared with you that big purple skein of yarn that my mother gave me, and I said every once in a while she gives me a little bit of yarn. This was also from her. She had made a baby blanket. She crochets, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pass up yarn, but you know, I brought it home and I threw it in here and never touched it. This is the water thing for my little iron that I use. I do have, see now here's some DMC needles, but the eyes are just too small for me. And I could never use these if with yarn for sure, and maybe not even with the size 8 pearl thread. They're just too small, too small. These right here, and I know there's no needles in them, but the chenille needles by Dritz, these are my favorite. I have bought a few of these. Now, these are also, gold eye tapestry needles. These are tapestry needles, which I like these as well. And I've bought a few of those because the eye is big and I like that. But I really like these chenille needles. And I also have this, which is the John James. And yeah, so what's left in here is the needles that with the small eyes, and then this humongous needle here. I'm going to put this stuff somewhere, even the empty package, because I like if I want to go find this again, this exact type of needle, I'll have the packaging. So I'm going to put all this away somewhere because I don't need it in this tray. So I also have some other little threads here, like just pieces of threads. I have orange, I have pink, I have yellow. I have these leaves that are actually wooden that I was using. I have this little flower, a little rosette. Like, why is it in here? I'm going to put that in with my rosettes. All right, so that's out of here now. I liked these because on the very first Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, on my title page, I had used these for flowers, some flowers that I embroidered. This I like, except I don't use it much because, well, it's wool, but I'm going to actually pull this out. It is Appleton's wool, 100% wool made in England. It is on the thick side, so maybe that's why I don't use it that much. But I suppose I could tear it apart and make it smaller, but I never do that. People do that, and that's just not me. It's just not. So, you know, I'm going to actually just leave this in here. And I have this, which I believe is also Appleton's. I have this. I'm going to put this in the basement because I don't need this anymore. The house that I live in, my grandparents built, and it was built in, I want to say, I think it was 1953, before I was born. And so the majority of the outlets were just 2-prong outlets. And so in order for me to plug in a 3-prong tool or light or whatever, I used this. But I don't need these anymore because I had the electricians come in, and now all of my 2-prong outlets in my house are now 3. So that's taken care of. Here's another little piece of embroidery thread. And then I have these needles. They're just needles. Let me show you, I guess, now that I'm looking at the needles, I do have these things sitting over on my ironing board. So this is another little tray. I think I'm going to put this back where it was. It's kind of almost like next to me. It's on a little bench near my ironing board, which is literally within arm's reach of where I sit. And this actually stays on there. So like this is one of those containers that I bought at a thrift store. It's actually a seashell shape and everything. And I like to have things visible, which I know a lot of us do. So like I keep my light color threads here because literally I can just grab it. It's right next to me, right? So, and different color yo-yos and buttons. And here's more thread. I'm going to put this in that other tray that I just showed you. Here's my gold thread that I really dislike a lot because all it does is break. I'm going to put that somewhere. I don't need that out because I don't use it. I even have this bracelet, a silver bracelet that I think like would look so pretty because I do use jewelry on my pieces. And you know, I think I'm going to keep this out because I think it would look super pretty on this. Like, look at how pretty that looks. I love that, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to keep this out because it is meant for me to sew onto something. And let's see what else is in here. Here's some more thread. Yeah, so I'm going to put this with those like one-off threads is now in that like long tray. Little flower. Yeah, so, and I have, here are the pins that I really like. I really like using these a lot. They are made by Clover, and I like those. And then I have, this is a seam ripper that was my mother's. So it was 25 cents. I don't see a year on here. I don't know. I don't know if there ever was a year. Printed in USA, made by Dino. I don't know. I think something was torn off there. But this I keep on my desk because I like to sometimes shred fabrics as I'm working with them. But this all stays on my ironing board. So I'm just going to put that back. And that is right next to my little iron that I really enjoy using. I'm definitely going to use this. I am going to pull in some pink, more pink. I will be using stitches like, so let's talk stitches for a minute. So like I look at this, like, so I know I want the button somewhere around there, but I'm going to take that off for now. And everything else on here is pinned, everything. So, you know, I look at this and I'm like, well, what is the best approach to tackling getting all this sewn down? Because what I do like to do is the cantha stitch across my pieces that I make. And that's just where you do the running stitch or the straight stitch, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, fairly close to one another. And it gets everything down. And a lot of times that can be your background, and then you build upon that. But I don't think I want to do that with this. I mean, I do want to do it because I really enjoy it, but I don't know if this is the right piece for that. Like this, I would have to definitely take off. I just don't know. I don't know if this is the right piece to do that. Maybe I'll do it on some of it. Like I could do that type of stitching, maybe like down the middle and across here. But like I wouldn't want to do it here on this because, well, I like the fact that that's ruffled. And the same with this. I don't know how much of that I would even want to stitch down. So anyway, yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. You know, I'm just really trying to decide how to stitch all this down, knowing that I want to bring in and use those 5 stitches that I shared with you, like the back stitch and that stuff. So yeah, you know, I mean, once I start, I just kind of go and it all kind of works out. I just haven't gotten to that point yet with this. So I did want to share something with you that has nothing to do with sewing, but I have to tell you, if you're a reader and if you like, you know, like even Hallmark movies and that type of stuff, oh my gosh, this book is so good. It's the first book that I ever got from the library by this author, Jill Shalvis, I guess is how you say her name. And this one is called Lost and Found Sisters. But oh my gosh, it is so good. It is so good. And it makes me laugh. I mean, I laugh hysterically to where I have water in my eyes. I can't read because I've laughed so hard. I mean, the whole book is not like that. And there's just these little things in the book that it's like that dry humor. It's hysterical. And like some things could just go right over your head, or you catch it and then it's like really hysterical. But anyways, it's a really, really good story. I started it this morning and I don't know, almost halfway through it. So I can recommend that book if, you know, you go to the library. I can recommend it. Yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna actually stitch today, but my head is spinning around just a wee bit. More than usual, I don't know. But yeah, I'll be using definitely some of these threads. I mean, even this one is pretty. Look at this one with it has blues and browns and some like reds in it. It's pretty, almost like a pink, not so much a red. But really pretty colors, right? So next Monday I will be back and we will move along with this. And I'm excited to get into those stitches again. And like I said, I'll share with all of you how I do them. And yeah, so that's it. So I hope that you all have a wonderfully blessed week. And I will see you next Wednesday. Or next Monday. And this Wednesday I'll be working on my Roxy's journal. So if you want to check out that video, and then on Friday is my collaboration day with Sherry, and I'll have a video on Friday as well. So that's it. So have a wonderfully blessed week, and I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.